So our world today has more access to knowledge than ever before, but knowing what you should do doesn't mean that your habits and your behaviors change along with it. So today we're going to talk about 5 common sense things that you already know, but you're not doing. So before we get started, make sure to hit subscribe and share this episode with a friend. So at Ramsey, we always say that personal finance is 80% behavior and it's 20% head knowledge. Because the truth is that majority of personal finance to win with your money, it doesn't take a ton of head knowledge. It takes you actually doing the thing. And so when it comes to common sense, like this is a great way to live your life when it comes to money. And what's hard though is we know what to do, but actually doing it and putting it into practice is what's difficult. And we're all human and we have daily habits, that aren't executed perfectly every single day and we're doing everything exactly right. But I think what matters is over time, there's consistency in our habits that creates the life that we want. Okay, so now here's my list of things that you probably already know, but you may not be doing. Number 1 is to live on less than you make. This always sounds like groundbreaking advice when I say it sometimes. I'll be like, live on less than you make. And everyone's like, oh, it's so simple, but what's hard is the average American isn't doing it because we have leveraged ourselves and we have created a life that is more than what we are bringing in. And when you get in the habit of living on less than you make different choices with your money and different choices when it comes to what you purchase as well. I think about my parents sometimes, and my mom has always been a saver, always, always, always. And like they're doing fine now in life, right? They can do it. But I look at her habits, she still kind of lives under this assumption, and some of the way she does things is like, oh yeah, I'm just guaranteeing that we're living on less than we make. Like she still like rents books from the library, right? Checks them out of the library, like those kind of things. But you see someone's habits and you just realize, oh yeah, this has been a part of who they are. And now, honestly, it's a great thing. So long-term, you guys, your habits are going to dictate so much of this and how you look at things and how you purchase things. So living on less than you make is so key. Number 2, common sense, but very important. Save for a rainy day. Yep. We always laugh around here at Ramsey because we're like, it's going to rain. It's not if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. Things are going to happen, you guys. There's going to be job losses. There's going to be health scares. There's going to be a roof that leaks. Like things are going to happen in life. And having the money set aside for those rainy days is so important. But for a lot of Americans, having money saved is just not a reality. 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency in cash. So getting this emergency fund, again, common sense, save for a rainy day, but doing it and actually having it is what's difficult. So what I want you to do is get a $1,000 emergency fund ASAP. Then once you pay off all of your debt, everything but your house, then you're going to bump up that starter emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And this account is not to be invested. It's not for your money to make money. That's not what this is for. This is literally for the rainy day. So you can keep this in a money market account, a high yield savings account, somewhere that you can get to it, but it is set aside for a rainy day. Number 3 is to create and stick to a budget. Yeah. This is like common sense, right? A lot of people talk about budgets and how important it is. And we know probably should do better at this, or I should, be budgeting. Like there's all these feelings around this. And it's not the you should out of like a shame complex, but it's understanding that, yes, knowing where our money is going is probably a good thing, right? It's probably common sense. Like this is a good thing to have. This is a good habit to create in our lives. And if you haven't already, then yeah, kind of get amongst the business of doing it. Because if you live your life where you just spend, maybe save, maybe do this, and you don't really know, then what happens when you do that over decades of your life, you get to retirement, you're like, man, I'm not exactly where I want to be, right? So it is this like planning out month to month, but you're doing it for a bigger purpose and a bigger goal. And it's really about taking control of your money. So be budgeting if you feel like we are paycheck to paycheck, but also be budgeting even if you have paid off debt. Maybe, you're on baby step 7 and you're, paid off your house, like you're doing all of it. Still be in the habit of telling your money what to do. Now, another kind of maintenance thing to do that I have to prevent crisis in my house is delete me. Because listen, we spend so much of our lives online. We are on social media, we shop online, we bank online. Everything we do pretty much is on the internet these days. And so are our names, our addresses, work history, phone numbers, email addresses. And they are out there for bad guys to exploit. So we need to protect ourselves, and that is why Delete Me is so great. Delete Me finds and removes your info from hundreds of data broker websites that buy, sell, and trade your personal data. So take control of your online privacy today and find peace of mind with Delete Me. Sign up today at joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, or click the link in the description. All right, number 4, when it comes to common sense personal finance, is to be honest about needs versus wants. So needs versus wants, again, is a conversation that a lot of people talk about. But what's really difficult is the way we live our lives today in 2025. We take some of our, wants and create them as needs when they're really not. Like when you look at your essentials, what you really, really, really need is food, shelter, utilities, transportation. Like that's it, right? You don't need cable. You don't need subscriptions. Like you don't need these things. I mean, if we were to be like real honest, it's like, smartphones. Like, do you need that to survive in life today? It would be more difficult, right? Not as convenient. But no, like you could. So like really, really, really stripping back and saying, okay, what do we actually need? And so what that's going to do is reevaluate where you're spending your money. And I think that this is really important because, again, when you live a certain lifestyle and a certain way of doing things for like years and years and years, this is like the norm. And to go below that norm feels so uncomfortable, so scary, but sometimes it is very needed, especially if you're wanting some quick wins, like getting out of debt, saving up an emergency fund, some of these essentials when it comes to our money. So being able to kind of pull back and look, I mean, Winston and I, we are like completely reevaluating our cable because if you're anything like us, well, actually, a lot of y'all probably don't have cable because everyone's gone to subscriptions. We're still old school and have cable. And it's like, we have like our Comcast box for our living room and our room and the playroom. And we see how much money we spend every month on this stuff. And it's like, our kids half the time, they're not even watching it. I mean, they're really not even, my kids don't watch cable. They watch Disney Plus, right? Or Netflix. So we're literally paying for something. And so we've been talking about it for a long time. And it's me, because I'm like, I just don't like change. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier. When you just know how to do something, I'm like, I would rather just have the comfort of the norm, even though we're losing a lot of money every single month, right? Like a couple $100 probably. And it's like, what are we doing? So Winston has convinced me. So we may be a YouTube live TV, whatever it's called, the internet. We're doing that, y'all. I think we're doing it. We're doing it. But it's going to be good. Again, it's so comfortable when you know something the way you know it. But stretching, it's good, y'all. It's good. We're all doing it. All right, number 5 is don't spend money you don't have. Again, pretty common sense, but this can be very difficult. And so if you don't have the money, don't buy it. And this is everything from cars, charging things on credit cards. I mean, all of it. Even a degree, I would say, for college. A house is the one purchase that I would say, like, I'm not going to yell at you to go into debt for a mortgage. But everything else, you guys, like, if you just live by this rule of no debt, it's amazing what can happen. Because when you don't owe money out with your paycheck, you get to keep that money and you get to save it or spend it or give it and do what you want with it. And so, yes, it creates more patience, but it also creates more peace in your life in the long term. So remember, if you don't have the money, don't buy it. Now, this is all pretty high level, if you will, but these important money principles are such a key to you succeeding when it comes to your personal finance goals. Listen, I cannot recommend FPU, Financial Peace University, enough. This is our 9-lesson course that basically goes through a lot of this stuff, but it helps you get on the right track when it comes to your money. So I'll leave a link down below if you want to check it out. And for more common sense money mistakes to avoid, make sure to check out my episode on what's the catch with 0% interest. You can click here for that. Or if you're listening on podcast, I will leave a link down below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys, I am thrilled to have Nero Feliciano with us today. She is a cognitive psychotherapist, yes, and an expert on psychology and brain science. She's also a wife and a mom of 4, and her new book, All Is Comish, is out, and she is just incredible, you guys. She has such incredible wisdom and insight. She's one of my favorite people, so the fact that she is here in studio, I'm just so excited about. All right, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. And here is our conversation. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
This makes me so happy. Okay, so as we're going into the holidays, you have been talking about this subject, thinking about this subject a lot with just the world. Because number 1, your book, All Is Comish, is out. And I love it. All is calmish.
Good.
Such a fun title.
It's true, right?
It is.
Calm-ish.
Yes. Yeah. Never fully, it feels like. So I'm curious from you, like your perspective of why do you feel like we are the way we are in America today of just overabundance of not just like the consumer side and like the buying of the holidays, but our time, like our expectations, like where we have to be, all of that. Like, does it feel like a lot? And has it always been like that? Or am I just a grown up now? And I feel like I realize it.
I'm a therapist, and just hearing you say that makes me feel overwhelmed. So I can only imagine the average person. It is. And I think part of it, why, especially in the holidays, it gets so overwhelming, because we're all operating at maximum capacity all year long, right? Do you know anyone who has extra mental bandwidth these days?
Totally. Yeah.
Especially parents, you know, when every activity is year round and there's a sign up for everything and an app that you have to sign into for passwords you don't remember, you know, every single
Totally,
time.
yes.
So then we think about, we have to run life like that and then put everything else on top of the holidays. So that's where I think it gets to be kind of emotional overload during that time. But then we're also living in this culture that's bigger, better, more.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
Right? And we're inundated with what life could look like and what life for someone else looks like and how much better it is all the time, because everyone has access to social media on their phones. So I think a combination of the two, because that piece also still goes on on the holidays. Then it's just tailored to the holidays. Look what you have to do. Look what you can get. You know, look how beautiful your house can look. Gets all then.
It just merges and collides
together.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's what it feels like. Yeah. So it is probably the pace at which we live normally, which I never even really thought about that.
Yeah.
Because you kind of just, I can just focus in on like a specific time on the calendar. But then when you stop and examine everything, you're like, oh no, your normal day to day.
Right.
Is already crazy and going like every hour is booked with something. And then you put holidays on top, and then you add technology and being able to see what everyone's doing. So, so people are feeling that. Like I talk about money a lot, of like the margin of your money and your finances and like how do we have expectations and be wise about that. But from like a time and a relational standpoint, what does that look like for people as they're going into the holidays and planning trips, seeing family that they may or may not even want to see.
Right. That's a whole other conversation.
Friends. Yeah. So like, what is that? How do you even start? Like if someone does feel so overwhelmed and they're like, okay, I'm going to this holiday season. Life already is crazy. What are things they can like think through, prioritize, put boundaries up, like all of it? Like where can they even start?
Yeah. And I had to think about that for the book.
Yes.
Right? Because it usually starts with us. And then we set the tone for our household. Yeah. So I actually wrote this book through 2 holidays because the deadline actually got pushed out a year. But I said, okay, now I'm writing it through the second one. I'm going to practice what I know I put into place. And part of that is just starting with a moment of calm in your day. That could be 1 minute of breathing before you go on your phone to just center. It actually doesn't take long, Rachel.
Yeah.
You know, we think about all these practices that we're told that we need to do, all these wellness lists that we're trying to check off, and even that gets overwhelming.
Sure.
Start with 1 minute of breathing before you go on any device in the morning, right? And the other thing I did was I created a little small ritual for myself that I would try to do a couple times a week. And all it was I sat down. I actually did a devotional because that's what I do. But I lit a candle. And there was something about having that candle and the smell of it and a focal point. All of this took all of 5 minutes, by the way.
Sure.
But it changed my energy in the day. And I would also say, aside from, for me, that was something I had to look forward to throughout the whole season. But take 3 things when you think about your whole season, everything you do. 3 things that you say, I'm going to be fully present for that.
Yes.
We cannot be fully present all throughout the day. I love people who can, but most of us can't.
Sure.
Right? We run at this crazy pace.
Right.
The 3 things that those are important to me. I don't want to miss it. I want to remember it 2 holidays, 3 holidays from now. And that gives us a sort of structure that we can then begin to build around. So
I love that. And I even like that you kind of put a little bit of a time frame because you're like, during the season, do this because it calms you during this craziness.
Right.
It may be a habit you take on for the rest of the year.
Right.
That you love. But even the senses, like the smell of the candle, like people talk about that, the memory of what someone told me when I first got pregnant with my first. She said, wear a different perfume during each pregnancy. And when you go back, you'll remember. And I'm not kidding. it is crazy. And I did 3 different scents through my pregnancy. But all that to say, the power of even just smell.
Yes.
And so I'm like, so engage your body, engage your senses with it to allow your actual body to calm down and be present. Because there, I'm assuming you kind of get a clearer mind to make other decisions that are coming up.
You absolutely do.
Better.
The senses are powerful. And even when people are having panic attacks, one of the grounding exercises we do is engage your 5 senses in the moment around you.
What do you see? What do you smell?
That's right. Exactly. So
Interesting.
that's very true.
So interesting. Okay, so you get this ritual in place.
Yes.
You can calm down, kind of like.
It doesn't have to be fancy, literally, like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes.
But it's something that grounds you in that moment.
But be consistent with it.
Yes.
Because then that leads to the ability to have a level of mental capacity.
That's right.
To start to make these decisions. And as people look forward and they're like, okay, maybe they've gone through Thanksgiving or something, right? And they're heading into the Christmas season. What do you say of expectations of other people during the holidays?
Yes.
And what do you do to I don't know, man, when are you supposed to quote unquote just be a good person? And you know what I mean? Which is such more the people pleaser on my side. And then where do you put up the boundary and say, okay, we don't have time for X, Y, and Z? Because we literally don't. And if I say yes to these things, it's going to cause chaos and disruption and it's not worth it. We're going to create some margin in that. How do you pick and choose and how do you create those boundaries?
Yeah. It's complicated depending on the situation, right?
Yeah.
And there isn't a scripted answer that's going to fit everybody's situation.
Yeah.
But I do think we can go back to what about this situation can I control? Because that's all we can control. We can't control how someone else is going to respond or what they're going to bring up. We can plan our responses to it, though. Right?
Yes.
So whether that means, okay, I need to step away when things get heated. I need to work on what will it take to calm me down in that moment. I live in the north, as you know, and it's cold, and cold actually helps. So maybe if you live down here, you just stick your head in the freezer at that moment when someone says something,
open
right?
The freezer, open the refrigerator.
Right, because that actually calms us. But I think go back to what can I control and what do I have to let go of and surrender in that moment. And in terms of being a nice person, there are varying degrees of that. Right?
Sure.
We can be cordial, we can be loving, but at the same time, boundaries enable us to stay nice and loving. So that's going to be important too, because we're also trying to protect our family, right? Because sometimes those interactions affect everyone in our family, even maybe our kids in that moment.
Sure.
And I think there's this conception that misconception that boundaries, if you set boundaries, you're kind of a jerk and you're not loving, but they actually enable us to stay compassionate for longer.
Yes.
So boundaries can look like in the holidays, someone wants to come and stay at your house for 2 weeks and you say, hey, we would love to see you, but we've made plans for some of those days. Can you come from, Friday to Tuesday or whatever it might be? That's
and you're
a boundary.
the proactive one.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
Of setting that up.
Yeah.
All right. More of my conversation with Nero in a minute. But first, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. More than 100 million Americans carry medical debt, which shows traditional coverage often leaves people to face big bills alone. And families need more than coverage. They need community. And that's why I love Christian Healthcare Ministries, a budget-friendly, faith-based alternative to health insurance. So there are no networks, no insurance headaches. Go to chministries.org/budget to learn more. And you guys, when you're working the baby steps, your bank shouldn't be working against you. That's why I love Fairwinds Credit Union. They share Ramsey values like getting out of debt, saving for the future, and putting people first. Their smart checking and savings bundle was designed to line up with the baby steps. So if you're ready to move your money somewhere that supports your financial goals, Fairwinds is what you've been looking for. Just head to fairwinds.org/Ramsey to open your smart checking and savings bundle today. I get a sense, and I don't want to say it's true for I don't want to make a blanket statement, but I do feel like there's kind of been this trend recently of, gosh, my parents or my family maybe voted a certain way, or, or maybe you're in therapy yourself and you're realizing, oh my gosh, my parents weren't perfect. And maybe there was some hurt there. There just seems to be a lot of fractured relationships. And I feel like I hear more and more of this almost applause to people that remove
Cut them
themselves.
out.
Yes. And again, it may not be everywhere, but I feel like I start to kind of see pockets, and I do, and I have been in situations and know very close friends that there was an abusive situation, you know, and there is a actual, like, no, there are reasons to put up hard boundaries, 100%. And then as, you know, not that extreme, but even like people that literally don't have money. They're like, I literally cannot buy a plane ticket to fly across the country this Christmas. Like, we cannot afford it, right? And that's a boundary you don't have the means to do it, right? And that's going to be a boundary. So there are reasons for boundaries, absolutely. Do you think that we've gone too crazy with our approach to, I don't want to even call it boundaries, because I think that word can be thrown out, but relational, I don't know, I hate to say severedness, but like, does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I feel like I hear more and more of people cutting people off, and there's like an applause to it versus like a grief.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's a sadness there to that.
I 100% agree with you in that we're seeing way too much of it in situations that don't warrant it. In situations where, okay, we can actually have a really beautiful, productive, healthy relationship and not have every piece in alignment, right?
Right.
And a lot of times the relationships I'm hearing about are adult children cutting off their parents.
Yes, that's
older
it. Yes.
children.
Yes.
Which is also very sad.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I think part of it is we live in a culture where everything deserves attention, every opinion, every viewpoint, and people platform them. And at the end of the day, it's like, what is it that is going to make your life fulfilling? Is it standing on this one issue? For some people, it might be. But for the majority of people, it's not.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
I always think before you're about to set those kind of boundaries. And some of them, you may have irreconcilable issues, and that's different. There may be abuse. It may be toxicity. That's different.
Yes.
But we're using those labels far too easily before we're really exploring the situation. And I would say, think about your history with this person. Think about the moments where you've shown up for each other. Think about times where this has actually meant something to you. And is that possible now? And especially if we take away that one issue that's creating conflict, can we still have this type of relationship? For some, the answer is no. And in that case, okay. But unless we stop to ask those questions, we're never going to know.
Yes.
We're never going to know. And what we lose may be far more valuable than what we gain by setting the boundaries. So we have to go through that process.
No, that's so good. Because as we're talking about the holidays and relationships and all of that, it is, it's interesting. Because I'm like, you can't be everywhere, right? So there may be times you're going to have to say no. But then I do always wonder, if you look back, are there times that we said no to a full relationship, which is just so sad, and or ongoing, holiday traditions or whatever. And like, do we get to be 80 years old and look back at our life and be like, wow, my priorities were actually the opposite. It should have been probably more people oriented than maybe some other things that we're putting. I don't know. But it is interesting because I feel like we're in that season as a family, just in the sense of kids and activities, and we're getting pulled from 3 different grades now, where my kids are, and parents, different groups of parents, which are so fun. I mean, but our world just starts to get bigger and bigger, and we're like, oh my gosh, we can't. So my husband looked at me the other day. He was like, Rachel, we can't say yes to everything. Like we really can't. And I'm like, I know, but I want to. But everything's so social and fun. And I'm like, we can do this party and then leave early to go to this. And he's like, babe, just.
But you mentioned something that's really important, and this is one way we look at, are we investing our time in the right places? Think about when you are 80 years old, towards that stage of your life, and you look back on your life. What do you find is going to be valuable even then when you look back? What would you regret if you didn't do?
Yes.
And that question can actually be a guide to
filtering.
How you invest your time in money and relationships now.
Yes. No, that's so good. Okay. Those are all good things to remember, especially I feel like coming up on the holidays. You talk about in the book to choose connection over perfection, which I love. Because I am not a perfectionist. That is one thing that I've never struggled with. No. I struggle with a lot of things, discontentment, all the things. There's a lot of things.
4 kids broke me. But perfection.
I'm like, cut corners where you can. I think it's great. Like I'm fine with it. But I know for certain personalities, even within my own nuclear family, even I'm like, I can see the ones that like it is such a part of who they are. Of like doing and if you can't do it perfect, I don't want to do it all of it. Yes.
Yep.
And so put their time and effort into these tasks that at the end of the day, I'm like, you're okay. Like, it's okay if it's not great. But during the holidays, why is this so important to choose that connection over the perfection?
I think there are a couple reasons now. I mean, and I can't underestimate the impact of social media.
Yeah.
The photographing of things, the posting of things, especially when everybody else is doing it. It really is so powerful. And we talk about it. I mean, you and I can talk about it and be like, it's so stupid. But we still all do it 100%. On some level.
Yes.
Right? It's part of our culture now.
Yes.
But I think when we think about it at the end of it, are we depleted? Are we exhausted? And if we are, and have we enjoyed the people who are the most important to us in that season? We have to take account of if we are feeling depleted and exhausted, if we don't feel like we got enough time with them, if the season went by too fast, then what can we eliminate that at the end of the day, and I hate to say it because I think it's important to do things for ourselves.
Yeah.
But no one else cares about but you.
Yes.
No one else in your family cares about, or people coming over, whatever it is.
Yes.
This is why now I tell my friends, come over to my house. Like, it's going to be messy.
Yes.
I have 4 kids. We have 2 jobs. It's going to be messy. Just come over.
Yes.
Because I'd rather do that than spend all the time perfecting the way my house looks and never spending that time with my friends.
Yes.
So questions like that, I think they're important. And it's really just being honest with yourself about what's going on around us.
Yes. I even think like when we have dinner, I have like 2 friends and I love them dearly, but they do it all the time. And I'm like, stop, come sit down. They'll like get up and do dishes. In the middle, you know what I mean? Like, and it's even that kind of, and I know it's probably more for efficiency than like worried about perfection by any means, but there is something of like, we can get so task oriented. Yeah. We can put this expectation of what things should be.
Yeah.
For other people, really not even for ourselves.
True. But they're doing that because they love you and they want to help you.
No, at their house.
Oh, at their house. Oh, I thought it's your house. I was like,
that too. They will do it at mine too.
If they do it at my house, go ahead.
They start to, they start to like get up and do, and I'm like, stop it. Like,
their house.
Yeah,
because they can't sit till it's done.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They can't relax.
That's right.
Until it's done.
Yes, I know, and that's what they say all the time, and it's so funny. And I mean,
I'm not that person.
It's just an example. It's like a quick, it takes them 15 minutes. It's not the end of the world, but you take, any level of that and extrapolate it over the course of the entire holiday season, right? And you're just like, oh my gosh, like don't
here's another thing too, right? Practice even at 5 to 10 minute increments of your day, just being bored. Doing something without listening to something.
Oh God, that's
or
hard.
Having something on. I mean, we do it driving for 5 to 10 minutes with being bored.
And not looking at your phone.
Because that helps us to practice being present. Right?
Yes.
So that person who's getting up to do the dishes and in the middle of a conversation has trouble directing their thoughts to that moment right then. And this is a way that we can train our brain to do it in other moments that are more consequential, more impactful.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so interesting. I was just talking to a friend literally yesterday about kind of this topic.
Yes.
Where I started examining, my husband asked me this question. So now I'm just kind of aware, like I'm like watching, feeling my brain, like where it's going during the day, where my thoughts go. And I'm like, it is so true how I'm going to say 98% of where my brain is most of the time is thinking about, and not even the future, like 5 years, but like in the next, 2 hours of like, I got a 3:30 here. We got a, dinner at 6. Like I got to leave the house by 6. Like, you're there. I don't necessarily think about the past a ton. I know some people, their mind can kind of go there, but rarely do I practice just literally even when I'm driving. Like last night I did it because we were talking about it. Right. And I'm like, I'm driving my 2 kids, listening to like Forrest Frank or whatever, Tucsonic from Joe. And she went to, I don't know. I was like replaying and just like, this is what I'm doing right now. Yep. I had to make myself though. Think it. Like it doesn't just come.
It's a practice.
It is.
Right. Yeah. Because everything in our life and our culture now pulls us away from that, right? We're standing in the grocery store for literally 1 minute. We're bored. We take out our phone.
Yes. Yes.
And also in those moments, we limit our ability to think more deeply. So think about big ideas. Think about, our purpose and our meaning, because we don't give us the moment, the chance to actually let those things come up.
Yes.
So that's the bigger picture
of what
benefit
you're getting there.
Of the small practices.
So good. But every season too, I'm like, even through summer, people, the number one thing everyone always says is, I can't believe it's over. It went so fast, right?
Yes.
And people say that about the holiday season too.
All
yes.
the time.
When you come back in January, you're like, oh my gosh, it's just like, I can't believe it's
I
over.
didn't feel that way. The one time it didn't feel,
When you
I
did the
did
book
my
and you
ritual.
were, yes.
Yes. Even though it was so small, I felt like, okay, I had these micro moments of presence and things. And I ended the holiday feeling differently, not how I had every other year. And I have 4 kids and a job, right? So if I can incorporate that in a small way.
So it's a testament.
Feel that way. Yes.
It works. Everything in there. It's your time. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, what else would you say as we end this that you're like, I want people to know this for the season coming up? It could be from the book or just from your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I think the connection over perfection is a big piece of it, you know, and to think about what do you remember from your holidays growing up? What are you taking with you now as adults? And if we think about it, they probably look different than what we're experiencing right now and what we're doing right now.
Yep.
The extent to which we are doing.
Yes.
So if you stop and think about that and think about what do you want your kids to remember 20 years from now?
Yeah.
Those are the areas we focus on. And then it allows us to think about, okay, what can I let go? And maybe we don't let go of it forever, but trial run it.
Yeah, for
right?
a few months.
For
one
holiday.
Yes.
All right, maybe we'll do a little bit less so we can feel more, right? We can be more present.
Yes. With the kids and their memories, when you said that, is there, I don't even know, is there like scientific studies or something around the idea that experiences and moments as a family versus actual things and what they... Because I mean, I think it's always, people always ask it, and it's true. We're like, what did you get for your 6th Christmas? You know, when you're 6 years old. Most people can't answer it, but they can talk about, here's the tradition we always did X, Y, and Z. But is there?
There is, because the experience usually involves connection, right? And we know from the Harvard study of well-being, it's our greatest predictor of well-being, the strength of our connections. So experience also incorporates that piece of it. And then neurologically, there are different neurochemicals. So when we get something new, it's a lot of dopamine, which we know fades over time. Yeah. So if you ask my kids, what'd you get last Christmas? They probably can't remember.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Totally.
if you ask, what did we do? Or bring up some sort of experience you might have, they'll remember. They'll remember going to the show together, right? In the city. So that also then releases oxytocin. That boosts our serotonin. So those are longer acting kind of appreciation neurochemicals versus kind of the quick high-low of dopamine. So yes,
amazing. I knew it. I was like, I knew we were created in some way for that to be true.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all the wisdom and everything. And where can everyone get the book?
Thank you. Anywhere, all your
the great Amazon
stores,
too.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And thank you, because you have a chapter in my book where you shared your wisdom about talking about money and budgets. Tough conversation.
I know, this was actually like our introduction. Was the interview? Yeah. I think the first time we actually
first kind of in person Zoom
call. Yes, I know, which I so appreciated. So great. Okay, and where can everyone find you?
Well, on today.com, I actually searched myself today. I'm like, I'm here a lot. So
here I am.
You can find a lot of the things that I talk about there, but on my website, NeuroFeliciano.com, and then on Instagram too.
That's right. You're there too. So great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Rachel.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Now, if you're looking for more ways to have a stress-free holiday season, be sure to check out my episode, 3 Healthy Money Boundaries to Set with Family. You can click right here or click the description below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys, Merry Christmas. Oh, is it just not the best? I hope that you are having a wonderful time with friends and family. And if you're anything like me, Christmas, specifically Christmas Day, it just brings out all the nostalgia. And since Christmas music has been a part of so many great Christmas memories over the years, I thought I would reminisce on some of my favorite Christmas songs. So today, that'd be fun for me to challenge myself to see if I can guess the right lyrics to a few of the throwback classics. So play along if you want to, and stick around to hear at the very end of all of this my number 1 tip for being successful on Christmas Day. Now, don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend. All right, before we get to the guessing game, I did want to take a moment and just say thank you. This is getting always towards the end of the year when it's Christmas Day. And, it's been a big year, you guys. And so for those of you that have followed along, have watched the videos, listened to the podcast, always thank you for the support. But more importantly, I hope that the content that we've put out into the world is helping you and your family, because finding peace in your life is something that was really important to me. And specifically with this podcast and this channel, it is finding peace when it comes to your money. So thanks again for always tuning in. I really, really do appreciate it. Okay, so we are going to play this fun game. We are ready for the musical, lyrical game. And my team said, hey, we're going to pick out some classics, maybe a little pop culture, maybe not. We will see, of some Christmas songs. And let me see if I know the lyrics to these famous songs. So let's play the first song. Everything's okay. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. I got that. Check. Thank you, NSYNC. Thank you very much. Happy holidays to you as well. God, what a great one. Okay, next. Right would always win. Love would never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. Thumbs up from the back. Oh my gosh. Amy Grant. Now that is a cassette tape playing in the Ramsey living room. That's where she comes into my life. Sweet Amy Grant. Okay, let's do the next one. I hear those sleigh bells ringing. Santa, won't you bring me the one I really need? Please. Oh, man. I lost it. Okay. Everyone see, I hear the sleigh bells ringing. Santa, won't you bring me the one I really need? Won't you please bring me my baby to me? Oh, gosh, you know what? I feel like these are one of these songs that you have in life and you kind of just make up the lyrics to some of the words. And I feel like I never knew those were the exact lyrics of that part of this song. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas Is You. I mean, when she comes out, my girls even know that song. It's so funny to me. Before we keep going on with the songs, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. So just about everything costs more these days. So if you're looking for your healthcare options during open enrollment, check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not health insurance. It's a biblically based health cost sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours with healthcare costs without sacrificing freedom. You can join CHM at any time, like now. So learn more at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. All right, next song. This is a fun game. For my mama, please. Something that these shoes are just her size. Will you hurry, sir? Mama doesn't have that much time. It's not funny. Is that it? Let's see. Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mom, please. It's Christmas Eve, and these shoes are just her size. Oh, that was very close. Man, what a sad song. I mean, way to bring the Christmas joy, the Christmas shoes. Oh, God bless. All right. This is a good one. So are you happy tonight? You're all that I need. Underneath the tree. Is that it? No, not at all. No. Presents, what a beautiful sight. Don't mean a thing if you ain't holding me tight. Oh, wow. Way off. Kelly Clarkson. That's a great song, too. Underneath the tree. All right. Okay. Last one. Obviously not good with music. We're seeing that. When I'm worried and I can't sleep. I genuinely don't think I've ever heard that song. I don't think I've ever heard of the song.
White Christmas.
But is it White Christmas?
No. It's from the film White Christmas.
Okay.
We'll put the lyrics.
Is this a famous song? Count Your Blessings. Everyone can sing this song?
Not the whole thing. I know the beginning.
If I played this song, everyone in this room would know the lyrics to this song. What? Oh my gosh. Never have I ever. Okay, I count my blessings instead of sheep. Oh. Wow. Well, there we have it. All right. Obviously, not great at lyrics always, but Christmas music is still, it's still the best. And I will give credit to my team that they picked out every one of those songs. So thank you. Thank you for that, guys. All right. So when it comes to having a successful Christmas, always remember this is about being with friends and family, and those things don't cost a thing, right? When you actually enjoy and appreciate the things that money can't buy, like that is where tremendous joy comes from. And of course, the reason for the season, always the birth of Jesus and the fact that we get to celebrate the beginning of his life on this earth. So I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and I cannot wait to see what next year holds. So always remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. Well, I think I've officially done it. I have figured out the one thing that everyone on earth wants. Any guesses? Okay, I'm going to tell you. I really think that thing is financial security. Yep. Everyone wants to be at a place financially where they really feel secure and at peace. It's like the one thing. People want a lot. They want a lot, but that is one of the top. So what could you do in the morning if you did not dread all the things that you had to spend money on that day? What if you had savings and investing and a budget? What if you didn't know anyone anything? It sounds amazing. Well, today I want to talk to you about 5 proven ways that you can actually achieve financial security. So whether you're drowning in debt or you're lost when it comes to investing, no matter what your current financial status is, you can get to a place of financial peace and stability by doing these 5 things. Let's first define what financial security is, because like I said, everyone can agree that it sounds great, but what does that mean? Well, financial security is where you're able to afford your expenses each month while also investing in retirement and having money saved for unexpected emergencies and having some money just to spend. So to break it down for you, it's budgeting, saving, and investing. Or if you want to think about it as a state of mind, it's having the confidence that you can stay afloat financially when unexpected things happen. So why is this important? Because the truth is, unexpected things are going to happen. And life is meant to be enjoyed, not being stressed out all the time. But how can you dream and plan for the things that you want out of life if you're constantly crippled by payments month to month and living paycheck to paycheck? Well, here are where the 5 steps come in. So the first step to achieve financial security is to live on less than you make. So there are 2 aspects that go into this. One is more of a mindset, and then one is actually a habit that you need to build. So first is seek out that mindset of contentment. This is where you mentally stop fighting the comparison battle. You practice gratitude. You have peace with where you're at, where you say, you know what? If I had to live on what I have right now, I'm going to be okay. My identity, who I am, is not ruffled by that. I'm going to be okay. Next, it's to use a monthly budget to track what you're spending and to be intentional about where your money's going so that you can actually start living on less than you make. And this is a really key part of budgeting. You want to take your income for the month minus all of your expenses, including giving and saving, and that should equal 0. But that saving part is key. That means you have margin there, that you're not spending everything you make, or more importantly, that you're not spending more than what you make. And one of the best ways to do that is to have an app on your phone that helps you budget, helps you track what you're spending, and that is EveryDollar, you guys. If you've not checked out EveryDollar, I'll put a link in the description, but seriously, it's one of the best things that you can do is to have your budget with you all the time, and we have our phones with us all the time, so that's great. All right, the second step to achieving financial security is ditching your credit cards. This is one of the biggest arguments that I get. Everyone's like, Rachel, but I pay it off every month and I get all the rewards. Well, I won't deny that cash back and airline miles, sure, it's very tempting. But to earn those small perks, you have to spend a lot of money. And along the way, you're going to be tempted to overspend more and not even realize it. But you know in the back of your head subconsciously, well, I'll just buy some more because I'll get some perks on the back end. And listen, nobody opens up a credit card planning to go thousands of dollars into debt. But the data shows us that millions of Americans are feeling stressed out by the debts that they owe, and nothing can replace peace of mind that knows when you are cash flowing your life and using your money and not someone else's, there is a piece to that. And credit card companies, they are in the business of one thing, you guys, and that is to make money. That is to make money. They are in a big business to make money. So whether they're preying on you or someone else who's less capable of keeping their head above water, they're going to win. So financial security is not playing the credit card game to afford a flight to Florida. It is to use your money and you be in control and have that autonomy. The third step to achieving financial security is an expansion of step 2, but that is paying off your debts. So the idea of living on less than you make and cutting up the credit cards, it's actually this idea that you are going to live a life debt-free and you're going to pay off your debt. So no more car payments, no more student loans, no more credit card minimum payments or high interest loans, all of it. You guys, it is amazing. When you don't have debt, what happens is you have your whole income to use for you instead of it going out 8 different directions, because debt steals your income from you. That's what it does. And so what you want to be able to do is to say, hey, I have autonomy and I am going to live a life that is debt-free. So getting out of debt is so key. So here's what I recommend. List out all of your debts, smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate, pay minimum payments on everything, pay off the smallest debt first. And that's what's key. And then once that's paid off, you roll everything over to the second smallest. And then once that's paid off, you've freed up 2 payments right there. That all goes on the third debt. And you're going to work extra. You're going to sell stuff. And it's amazing when you actually walk through this process and people get out of debt completely on average 18 to 24 months. So this is possible, you guys. But you may be thinking, how am I going to get extra money? I can barely make ends meet. Well, budgeting, like we talked about, having a plan, cutting things out is one. You want to look at your expenses. Think about gym memberships, subscriptions, streaming services, takeout meals. I mean, all the things that we have in our life that we almost feel like our needs, take them out. And then up your income. Get a side hustle. Take what you already are good at and see if you can make money doing that on the side. I mean, it's going to be some sacrifice and it may sound intense, but here's the deal. Sacrifice like really fiercely for a short amount of time. Get all the payments done. Get all the debt out of your life. And then there is such freedom when you don't have those payments that is taking your paycheck. Now, the fourth step to achieving financial security is to build up an emergency fund. So if you don't have a safety net when an emergency pops up, then you are going to be tempted to take it on a credit card, right? Our research here at Ramsey shows that 19% of people with credit cards keep them around just in case there's an emergency. So I don't want the credit card to be your emergency fund. I want you to be your emergency fund. So what you want to do is get a $1,000 emergency fund. Then once all your debt but your house is paid off, you're going to bump that up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And you can keep this in a money market account or a high yield savings account. So next time something happens, like your refrigerator breaks or a family member needs medical care or your hot water heater breaks, you have cash in the bank just to use. So you're not depending on debt. You're using your life. So there's no stress, no drama. It's there. And the fifth step to achieve financial security is investing 15% of your income into retirement. So let's do some math really quick. Let's say you start investing 15% of a $55,000 salary into good mutual funds with an 11% return at the age of 30. You'll have over $3.3 million in retirement at 65. Or even if you start a little bit later, you can build wealth successfully. Investing 15% of a $65,000 salary from 40 to 65 at 11% return is just over $1 million. So of course, 15% is the starting point, but once your house gets paid off, then you're able to have even more to invest, which is great. And remember, your income is going to go up over time. So that 15% will be more and more money over time. Now, where should you invest your money? Well, the best place to invest is to be looking at retirement first and foremost. So things like a 401k or a Roth IRA. And with those accounts, you're going to put money in those accounts, and then you want to invest in actual mutual funds within those accounts. Now, I always recommend working with an investment professional to get you started on this progress, because it really is important to have a pro on your side. So I will leave a link for you to connect with a pro so they can help you out. And if you're interested in learning more about financial security, make sure to check out Financial Peace University. This is an amazing course, you guys, to be able to get you the basics when it comes to your money. Now, if this all sounds great, but you're currently in the middle of a financial crisis, I have an episode about how to survive those circumstances. So check that out next. All right, you guys, good luck. You can do this. You can find financial peace, I promise. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys, one thing that the internet and personal finance have in common is a lot of mysterious lingo. You know, you get LOL, OMG, HELOC, Roth, repo, IRA. You know, all these terms, all these letters, and you're thinking, what the heck? I mean, the more progress you make with your money, it feels like the more vocabulary you have to learn. So today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite financial abbreviations, the refi. So refi is short for refinancing. And if you are a new homeowner or if you've never refinanced a loan before, this might be an unfamiliar concept to you, or maybe the concept of refinancing makes total sense, but you're a little confused on why you would ever need to do this, or maybe you have a lot of questions around it. So today, I'm going to walk you through all of it, because the truth is that sometimes refinancing is a great way to save money, but other times it can actually cost you money. So stick around to the end so you know the difference. But first, let's go over the basics. What exactly is a refi? So when you refinance a loan, you exchange the loan you currently have on your car, on your house, college education, for a new loan that usually you can pay off faster, or it has a better interest rate. The result is basically a redo of your agreement with the bank about when you'll have all the money paid back to them and how much extra money you'll give them along the way in interest. Interest rates fluctuate and change all the time. And when you have a lower rate, that means you give less extra money away to the bank every month till you actually pay off its total value, which is called the principal. So speaking of interest rates, let's talk about a few reasons why you might want to refinance a loan. But be sure to stay tuned, because there are reasons why you shouldn't refinance a loan, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the first thing to clarify is that ideally you should only ever refinance your home, because a mortgage is the only kind of debt that I ever recommend you taking out or thinking about. And interest rates are one of the top reasons why a lot of people refinance. So for example, a coworker of mine bought her first place in 2018 for $205,000 at a 5.5 interest rate. And by 2021, the rates had already dropped down to 2.6%. So she refinanced to lock in a lower interest rate, and she ended up reducing her monthly payment from somewhere around $1,400 to just over $900. And having that extra almost $500 a month is a huge win and a perfect reason to refinance. So then she could invest that money in retirement or start saving for a new car. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it's great. Another common reason people refinance is to shorten the timeline of their mortgage. So I always recommend a 15-year fixed rate over a 30-year or an adjustable rate mortgage. So a 15-year fixed rate, it locks you in, you know what the rate is, and it kind of forces you in the system that you're going to pay your house off early. But a 30-year mortgage is still the most popular choice, so a lot of people end up going this route. And anytime you're able to pay off your house earlier, that's what we want you to do. With the baby steps, this is baby step 6, it's pay off your home early. And a 30-year mortgage is going to have a higher interest rate, and it takes almost double the time if you follow that formula, which means you'd be throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars just on interest alone over the life of the loan. So again, with a 15-year fixed rate, you're gonna have a higher payment month to month, but a lower interest rate. And it puts you in a system that's gonna make you pay it off faster, which is awesome. Now let's talk about when not to refinance. But first, I want to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable, and that's Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. And with no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. So find out more at chministries.org/budget. So the first reason you want to avoid refinancing is if you're trying to consolidate existing debt. So listen, a lot of people are like, well, if I take my car loan and my credit cards and this personal loan and this HELOC, if I do all of this and put it into a lower interest rate, that's better. But listen, what we have found with personal finance is when you have your debts separate and you list them out smallest to largest and they're in multiple debts, original debts, that's what's going to get you to pay off your debt faster. It's not this idea of math of, well, if I just had a smaller interest rate, everything would be better. Because the proven momentum of paying off your debt faster is you. And one of the best ways to do that is to pay off that smallest debt first and feel that momentum. Now, the second reason not to refinance is if your closing costs add up to more than what you'll save in interest. So it takes some time to do a little bit of calculating and find out if you'll break even. So refinancing includes closing costs that are about 2 to 6% of the loan amount. And those costs cover everything from your refinancing application, home appraisal, title search, home inspections fee, lender's attorney's fee, origination fee, points fee, all of it. But if the total outweighs what you'll save on interest in the long run, then you may want to wait until interest rates get even lower before you do that. I'll link my go-to mortgage payoff calculator for you to test out some of the numbers on your own. Now, the third reason to hold off on refinancing is if there's a chance that you're going to move in the near future. So if you have plans to sell your place or relocate or upgrade or downsize, you may want to hold off on refinancing now, again, because you're going to pay so much up front with the closing cost that you may not get back in interest over the course of the loan if you end up switching houses. So be thinking about that as well. Like many things in the world of personal finance, refinancing, it can be a great tool if it's used the right way. So just make sure you crunch the numbers and weigh the pros and cons of this. And if you're in need of a little pro help to think through your options, my friends over at Churchill Mortgage, they're an amazing resource. So make sure to check them out in the link below. Again, this can be a very complicated thing, so reach out to a professional. And if you didn't already know, my husband, Winston, he's in the real estate world. And I had him on the show, The Ramsey Show, a couple of years ago to talk about some things like refinancing. So you should check that out as well. And remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So other than, hey, Rachel, where are your earrings from? Or can you link that dress from Amazon? We want it. Those are the most common questions that I get when it comes to life on social media. But besides those, investing is the next. I mean, beyond budgeting and getting out of debt, investing is always the top question that I get when it comes to money. Now, it can be tricky to understand this topic at first, but once you grasp the basics of investing and you know all of your options, you will be unstoppable when it comes to wealth building. So today I'm going to respond to a couple of your investing questions, and be sure to watch till the end and let me know in the comments if I missed anything that you're still wondering about. And stick around to hear about my go-to tips for investing, no matter where you are in the process. So I'll do this every now and then on Instagram. I'll just say, hey, ask me a question. And these that you're about to hear were questions from you all via Instagram when it comes to investing. So the first one is, when, where, and how can I open up a Roth IRA if I don't have this option through work? So a Roth IRA you can do completely as an individual. You have to be working and making an income in order to qualify for a Roth IRA. But also, if you're married, if your spouse stays at home, they can qualify for a spousal Roth IRA, which is great. So what you would do, I would suggest that you sit down with an investment professional and look at your entire investment strategy completely, everything from your 401k at work or 403b to the Roth IRA. I mean, look at everything and have them help you. That would be the best option, in my opinion. All right, the next question is, I'm a teacher with a pension and a 403b, and I'm wondering if it's a good idea to start a Roth IRA as well. So the way I would answer this question is to say, if you are debt-free with a fully funded emergency fund, I want you investing 15% of your income. And so what you're going to do is go up to the match of your 403b. Your pension, I would cut in half. So take that percentage that you're getting pension-wise and cut it in half towards your 15%, because that is money going towards retirement, which is great, but you also have no control over where they're investing that money. when it comes to your pension, and I want more options for you. So if you have more of that 15% that's not allocated, then I would open up a Roth IRA and invest in that as well. So you could technically have 3 accounts, which is great. But again, the key here is that you're investing up to 15% of your income. Next is when or after which step do you recommend converting a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA? Will I be penalized for doing this? Okay, so I love the Roth IRA, and quickly what that means, Roth means basically tax-free. You're like sheltered from taxes, which means you are putting money in. You can put up to $7,000 in this year. And what you're taking is money that's already been paid taxes on your income. So your income comes in, you pay taxes, whatever hits your account, that's the money you use to fund your Roth IRA, which means the growth within that is completely tax-free. So if you're starting this early, you're going to have so much growth. You're going to have more growth in that funds versus what you put in the principal. So I think that this is so important. I think it's really key to do a Roth IRA. Now, a traditional IRA is taken out before you pay taxes. So you almost don't even really see it. And then money hits your checking account and whatever's there is yours to live off of. But the problem is whatever the growth is in the traditional IRA, you're going to pay taxes on when you pull it out at 59.5 or whenever you take money out, which is going to be a lot. You're going to pay a lot of taxes. So again, there's a lot of debates between this on what you should do depending on your tax bracket and all of it. But I'm a fan of the Roth. So if you're going to convert it, again, I would sit down with an investment professional to talk about this, because if you're far down the line in a traditional, it actually may not be worth it because you're going to be taxed. In order to roll it over to a Roth IRA, you're going to have to pay taxes, which means you're going to have cash. It's going to be taxed like ordinary income. So it's going to take a chunk of money. But again, on the offset of whatever's going to grow in that fund is going to offset the taxes you pay now, it's going to be worth it. But again, it's going to depend on your age and how much you have in there. The next question is, my husband withdrew the cash from his 401k from his old job. It was $9,000. We're currently on baby step 2. So should we just toss it at our debt? Yes. Go ahead. If the cash is there, everything is going towards the debt. Now, remember you guys, if you move jobs, your 401k, do not cash it out because you lose the benefit of all that growth. So the 401k, if you have it, just roll it over to a traditional IRA, like we just talked about earlier. So again, you're not paying taxes or anything. You're just rolling over, letting that sit there and grow over time. And then you can open up a new 401k at your new job. But do not cash it out next time because you lose growth and you can be penalized. All right, next is, what is the best way to save for retirement as a stay-at-home mom? So this is a great question. So retirement specifically, if you don't have an earned income, but your spouse does, again, you can do that spousal Roth IRA is what I would recommend. But other than that, you may just be investing in traditional mutual funds or index funds at that point. So again, the retirement option really is when you have an earned income, but if you don't, there's really limited options. My daughter's going to college next year, debt-free, scholarships in a 529 fund. Great job. She bought her car in cash. Amazing. She has a couple of $1,000s in savings and works a part-time job for extra spending money. Should she start investing now? Well done. Golly, that's amazing. Okay, so while, again, I love investing, I love talking about compound interest, I love talking about the earlier you start, the better off you're going to be, all of that. But the truth is, when you are 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, there is a lot of life ahead of you and an expensive life, right? That transition from college to the real world, it's expensive. Maybe you get a new job, you got to move cities, there's moving costs, you're trying to figure out rent. And I mean, there's a lot to be said when it comes to entering in life. And so really the best investment you can make is in yourself, meaning having a lot of cash on hand when you're young is really, really helpful. And so what I would tell her to do is just put that in a high yield savings account. I understand the temptation of like, go ahead and invest it. I get it, but also I don't want her money stuck in an investment and in 3 years she actually really needs it for something. Again, it's going to put her in a hole. So I would rather her have it available. And then when she transitions out of college, she gets her first job, then she starts saying, okay, now we're going to be, investing in all of that. That money she saved as a teenager could be her baby step 3, which is a fully funded emergency fund. So maybe she has that cash there, check, and she can go straight to investing then. So investing at 21 versus, 19, she's going to be okay. So I would not invest now. My husband will lose the match if we roll over his 401k to his employer. Should we still move it? So I'm assuming that means his 401k from his old job. So if that's the case, I would just roll it over to a traditional IRA and then open up a new 401k, which hopefully then has a match. But if his new 401k doesn't have a match, I would still go ahead and invest it. I would just prioritize a Roth IRA over a non-matching 401k. The next is I'm investing 11% in retirement through work, and my company is matching 4% of that. So I'm sitting at 15% total. I don't feel like I have a lot of margin to do 15% on top of the match. So is that still good enough? So when we talk about the 15%, it does not include your employer's match. So technically you are investing only 11% of your income. So again, I understand, it is, margins are tight and all of that. So if it's for a season and it's what you can do to get by, that's great. But as your income starts going up, then I would still really hone in on that 15%. That needs to be your goal. Let's just say that. That needs to be your goal, is investing 15%. So you may not be in a current position today to cover everything you need and invest 15%, but I don't want you sitting at 11% long-term, because when we look at inflation, when we look at growth within funds, all of that, I want you to be in a really comfortable place at retirement age, and that 15% really is that magical number. The next is, how do I know when it is a good time to increase the percentage of money that goes towards retirement investing? Well, again, I always go back to that 15%. So I would do anything I could, if you are debt-free with a fully funded emergency fund, to max out and get to that 15% of your income. And really, that's what you need for retirement investing. Now, if you're down, the baby steps, and maybe your kids' college is taken care of, maybe you've paid off your house even, and you're looking to invest, that's when you can really go in and invest in other things besides retirement. But that 15% specifically within retirement investments is really key. Now, the last question is one that really fascinates me, because it's something that skeptics tend to wonder about. But before I share with you what that is, I want to tell you about one of our new sponsors that's joining the show, and that is Delete Me. So you guys, scammers are everywhere. It's crazy. And I'll admit, not too long ago, I was a little distracted and actually fell for a scam. Yes, hurt my heart a little bit, I know. And I know that, again, scams are common. There are places out there that are going to have your data. And so what you want to do is protect yourself. And so that is why I recommend Delete Me. This gives me such peace of mind, because Delete Me finds and removes your personal info, like your home address, phone numbers, and more, from hundreds of data broker websites, helping protect you from spammers, scammers, and online thieves. And it potentially will be saving you a lot of time and even money to go through and say, oh my gosh, where is all my information? And can I just tell you, when you sign up with them, they're going to show you already all these places where your information is. I mean, it's crazy what is on the internet and how people can find you. So you got to check out Delete Me. So if you go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel, you can get 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel. All right, the final question is, does it ever make sense to invest in something other than retirement, like investing in mutual funds to save for a house? So it's a great question. And yeah, absolutely there is. But for a lot of people, again, that we talk to, it's like, okay, getting out of debt is a priority first, getting an emergency fund is next, and then making sure retirement is taken care of. So once those things are covered and your house is paid off and you're beyond that, and you're just say, okay, where can I invest? There are places and great things you can invest in. Really, the two places I can tell you beyond retirement that Winston and I invest in is that we have just a standard mutual fund that we opened. Also, index funds is a great option too if you want to check those out, and paid for real estate, which is starting really, really small. It's not a great market for it to find great deals, but you can still find them out there. So if you wanted to do that, and whether you're knowledgeable in that area of life and you can do a flip and make some money, that's great. Or maybe you hold it for a rental. So I would invest back into the market in non-retirement funds or real estate. Those are the two places that I feel the safest. But no, if you're saving up for a house, usually if you're going to have a purchase within 5 years, I would just put money in a high yield savings account. But if it's going to be longer than 5 years and you're like, yeah, this money, let's just see if it grows, and you don't really need it for something specific, you could open up another fund like a mutual fund and just park some money there. Because here's the thing, you guys, no matter where you fall in the investing journey, whether you're still paying off debt, still working towards investing a full 15%, there are a few tools that I recommend in this process. So use Ramsey's investment calculator to really help you plan and track your investment goals. because this is a great place where you can put some numbers in and just see, hey, what if we did this and we let it grow for 10 years? What is it going to be? Or for retirement, hey, if we want this much at retirement because this is how much we live off each year, what do we need to have? So again, it's a great tool to use, and also consider working with a pro. I'll be sure to leave the info that you need in the description so that you can get started making progress today. And if you haven't, be sure to check out my episode on investing for total beginners. So good luck, you guys, on your investment journey. And as always, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.